Hola Jude, aquí Abraham Romero del Mundo. Quería saber cuál es la palabra más repetida en el vestuario estos días. Remontada.
Oh dearie me. Life is just filled with irony sometimes, isn't it? Since Bellingham made this comment, Barcelona have come from behind to beat Real Madrid twice. He only said this a month ago. At this point, I don't know why anyone would dare to celebrate taking the lead against Barcelona, especially by 2 goals, the most dangerous lead. Mbappe once again has scored a hat-trick in a high-profile match, only to lose in the end. Travis Scott seemed to enjoy his downfall though. Cruel world we live in. For the 4th time this season, Real Madrid have lost to Barcelona. 4 times. This guy has shown that Madrid just have no way of dealing with their rivals. As for Barcelona, say what you want about Hansi Flick, his Barca is just pure entertainment. This was arguably not even the best 7-goal match they were involved in. In the past week, they bounced back strong from what could have been a true disaster week for them. Really great mental strength. And now they will likely win everything Spain has to offer this year. I really hate talking about when referees influence matches, but when it's this blatant, you have to wonder what's really going on. What's worse is that the team that benefited most from this officiating monstrosity still lost. Xabi Alonso has a lot of work to do. Hello, hope you're doing well. Welcome back. Brilliant Clasico just dropped and it seems like the season is just about over for La Liga. I was thinking yesterday about how this season, it kind of seems like the 14-15 one for Real Madrid to me. They get far in every competition. At multiple parts of the year, it looks like they're about to win everything, only to win nothing. Of course, that 14-15 side was a hell of a lot better than this current side, but there was still that tangible hope that this side could be really successful this year not too long ago. Madrid were once leading the pack after Barcelona began to stumble and drop points. They were the favourites to go through against Arsenal in the Champions League. Even when they were 3-0 down going into the second leg against Arsenal, Real Madrid fans, neutral fans, Arsenal fans, everyone was dreading this daunting prospect of 90 minutes at the Bernabeu. Nothing came of it. But we do have to be real, or, real, about how the season's gone for them. It hasn't been too kind. Just yesterday alone, this is what their injury list was looking like. This is their entire back line, plus a player that can play in just about every position when everyone else is injured. He too was gone. From that perspective, you really do have to feel for them. But then again, that doesn't take anything away from Barcelona. They have just been brilliant and they are far and away the better side this season, and it isn't even close. The scoreline of the most recent Clasico, that 4-3, it might look like it was close, but in reality, it just wasn't. Of course, there are reasons for why it looks close, but we'll get into that in a bit. What Barcelona have managed to achieve this season is something truly remarkable. It may not seem like that long ago, but only 9 months ago, Barcelona were the laughingstock amongst elite European clubs. All the news about them failing to register players, signing players that they don't need, not having enough money. Xavi was activating the 5th, 6th, and 7th financial lever, and then Flick comes in with this highly aggressive, risky game plan that doesn't necessarily rely on the close, intricate interplay ingrained in Barcelona DNA. Laporta, forever the politician, seems to always know what to say and do, and looking back to how Barcelona was, not just at the start of the season, but for the last few years, he's done a lovely job. And even when it came to the Champions League, they're not in the final this year simply due to a toss-up. Everyone was attacking, the game was extremely open, it was anybody's game. Truly the only reason they're not in is because they lacked a bit of game management towards the end. So let's talk about the match and the goals for a bit. I find it so strange how refereeing is always such a consistently high priority talking point when it comes to matches between these two teams. It can go either way, I guess, depending on the circumstances, the climate, whatever you want to call it. But VAR exists. Don't these guys know that after the match, we're all going to have access to everything that happened in there? They can review things in real time, but then they choose not to look at them for some reason?
It's embarrassing. It's a disgrace. That's what it is, a disgrace.
First call for Mbappe's penalty was obviously correct, no arguments. Second goal, very clear foul on Yamal, but play goes on and Mbappe scores. Brilliant finish, by the way. These are harder to do than strikers get credit for. Shouldn't have been allowed though. Barcelona equalized with the header of Eric Garcia. Great positioning by him. He's popped up in great position since Kounde has been out of the team. Perhaps Madrid do better at defending this corner if they have their regular defense out, but they didn't, and this is the way things go, I guess. Yamal on the score sheet, of course, with just a lovely curling shot, and it's 2-2. But wait, in the lead-up, Frenkie de Jong uses his hand and play goes on. I mean, this did happen sometime before the goal was actually scored, but it should have been called, right? Rafinha makes it 3-2. Lovely finish, just out of reach of Courtois, and the comeback is complete. He scores again moments later, and it's just so easy for the ball to be retrieved by him here, after Vasquez fails to control the ball. Madrid were playing very deep and were very sloppy. It was kind of embarrassing by their own standards. Yes, they have a thin squad, a weakened squad, but Barcelona just took such control of that match, and they couldn't do anything about it. In fact, Madrid was so poor and sloppy in this match, at times it felt like they were playing the game in slow motion, but Barcelona was playing at 2 times speed. You know, Barca have always been better passers than Real Madrid, to me at least, since I started paying real attention to the rivalry. This is around the Rijkaard era or so. But up until this season, I can't remember the last time that Barca was unanimously, just unequivocally better physically than Real Madrid in every category that you can think of when it comes to physicality, strength, conditioning, speed, fitness, everything. Rafinha should have had like 5 goals. Despite scoring twice, his finishing was very poor. Vinicius and Mbappe, by their own very high standards, could have had better touches, could have timed their runs better. Rodrigo didn't play this game. I'm not sure why. Any Real Madrid fans care to enlighten me? I saw he was ill in the match against Celta Vigo. Maybe he's not at full fitness yet. If he comes on and he's fit enough to play, he finishes that chance that Munoz misses, I'm pretty sure. And then it's 4-4. Okay, so now for some more refereeing fun. Tchouaméni brings down Ferran as he's the last man, and only a yellow card is given. According to the rules, I guess this is the correct call, as Ferran is not moving towards goal in this moment. But this is stopping a very clear goal-scoring opportunity. He would have had a very clear and easy square ball to play to Rafinha for the goal. So this is a bit of a grey area, I'm not gonna lie to you. What do you guys think? Ferran versus Asensio was quite the battle, and by battle I mean Asensio just kicked the crap out of him and didn't really get punished. Didn't stop Ferran from a hat-trick of assists. Great game by him. No, man. What are you doing? Don't do this. Later, Tchouaméni blocks a clear goal with his hand, and after a VAR check, a penalty is not given. Again, this is so strange to me, but I will give the benefit of the doubt. It does look like Tchouaméni's trying to get his hand behind his back, and the ball comes to him really, really quickly. So even if he wouldn't have been able to get his hand behind his back. But maybe this is where that old school thinking comes into play. It blocks a clear goal, or at least a very clear shot on goal. A penalty is the bare minimum. Even worse, Fermin scores a phenomenal solo goal towards the end, only for it to be ruled out, despite the fact that after Valverde wins the ball, a new phase of play has started. So yes, that definitely was a handball. I don't think anybody was arguing that. If the ball doesn't hit Fermin's hand, it goes out of play for a throw-in. But because a new phase of play has started, doesn't that mean that by VAR's rulings, you can't go back and make a new call based on the previous play? So yeah, very, very questionable refereeing. The ref was bad for both sides, but considerably worse for Barcelona. And to make matters even worse from a Real Madrid perspective, from an overall match perspective, Rafinha alone should have scored 2 more at least. That's his fault. Barcelona as a whole were more or less denied an additional 2 more thanks to refereeing calls, and yet Barca still won. Total domination. This was Carlo Ancelotti's last Clasico, it seems. A real shame that it had to end this way. With Xabi Alonso coming in, we're likely going to see a very different Madrid next season. I'm very excited to see how that pans out. In the present, they just have to focus on finishing off the season strong and hoping for a catastrophic disaster from Barcelona, which will not happen. I'm not sure if an official announcement has been made, but Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid is almost a certainty at this point, right? They're going to have to do quite a bit more in the market, I think. Their defense is looking increasingly unreliable to last an entire season. And what can we say about Barcelona? They're good. They are very, very good. If they can shave just 2 goals away from their goals conceded this season, they're in a European final and they could very well win everything. But let's also not forget how young this squad is. The maturity will come eventually, and when it does, if they're better than they are now, things can get really scary, really quick. And there we have it. Whenever I make a video about Barcelona, I seem to get this horde of Barcelona fans in my comments and DMs telling me how biased I am against their club, especially after that Inter Milan game last week, when I thought that the ref wasn't worse than a ref typically is in most European clashes. Made a couple mistakes, sure, here and there, but guys, I have no reason to be biased against you. I'm a Manchester United fan. I have my own problems to worry about, okay? Anyway, that's all for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're having a great day. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.